Hello everybody, I'm Rusty with Rusty Brown Photography. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Today I want to talk about printing and the importance of printing photographs. Had a recent conversation that dealt with how do we view photography, right? How do you look at pictures? How do you evaluate photos that you see? And not really to my surprise, most of the answers came back, with something like this, going to Instagram, for example, and just constantly doing that. And it got me to thinking that I don't believe this is the best way to view photography. I think it's great for social media, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that I can fully appreciate the work that someone put into a photograph on such a device because it's just too small, I think. A lot of things, advancements with smartphones, but I don't think that that's ideal. But the photography community as a whole, a lot of folks are in there. So anyways, it got me thinking, hey, you should print more. So I wanted to talk today about what went into that thought process, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to print, and then how I'm going to display the work, right? So a couple of factors went into this, right? Should I print myself? I have the ability to print, if I wanted to do it all myself, I'd have to go to the campus. We have some professional printers there. I would buy the paper, the ink, etc. But that's a lot of work. And I would have a couple of sizing issues. So I decided, no, I'm not going to print myself. Do I use an online company? That's kind of where I started leaning to. And then what size should I print, right? And then frame or not frame, and then how to display them. So I did decide to go with an online company, and there are several good ones. And some of the things that you have to consider are what do you want to print and what level do you want to print? And what I mean by that is, and I'll give you some of the ones that I looked at. Shutterfly, Amazon Print, Snapfish, Adorama, Walmart, CVS, Nations Photo Lab, and Whitewall. All are good, and some of them I think are better than others. The last two, specifically Nations and Whitewall, I think they cater to professionals a little bit more. Snapfish, Walmart, CVS, all those are really good. They're quick hitters, but if you want something a little more professionally done, I think you have to look at something like Nations or Whitewall. I looked at them both. They were both really good. The reason that I chose Whitewall, however, is because I like the idea that they could actually scale, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a sec. So once I decided that I was going to do professional printing or take the work out, I looked at those companies, I made a selection on which one I was going to go with, and the next was, how am I going to display them? So I searched around on YouTube, and I found a guy called Stonebroke Adventure. I'm going to put a link to his channel in the description box below. He showed how he took prints, basically how he mounted them, how he hung them, and that's pretty much been the inspiration for what I'm going to show you today. But I did a couple of slight variances to his, but for the most part, I followed that way to go. So the biggest single thing that I want you to take away from this, though, for me, in terms of my printing project, is I'm printing to display images here in my office and just for me. This isn't a studio gallery. This isn't something where people are going to come grade me or anything like that. I'm printing for me, which means I have to go through my images and decide which ones I think are print worthy, which ones stood out to me as the person who shot them, and which ones I want to see hanging. So I came up with a system, basically. I'm going to show you what I'm called the gallery wall, which is now blank. I asked Dee to paint it for me. I had some other stuff up there. I took it all down. I wanted just a basic gray wall to do the displays on. The rest of my walls are all Columbia blue, but for this wall, it's only going to be for the things that I print. I'm only going to display 5 at a time. What I'm going to use to light them, I'll show you. I ended up buying these lights from a company called Concept. I don't remember They were more than 50 bucks, I believe, or somewhere around there, but I'll get the price and put it in there for you. But what I liked about these were, these lights are wall mounted and no cords. I didn't want cords on the wall. So basically, you take this light, you put it on the wall, it hangs over the picture, and it lights that picture. So I got 5 of these because, like I said, I'm only going to do 5 images, and I want to be able to light them. Comes with a remote control, and this one remote control can control one light or all of them. As I mentioned, I did choose white wall. Very nice site, easy to navigate. You could upload a TIFF file, and I did, and each image can be up to a gig in size. Having the ability to upload a TIFF, which is a richer file, a larger file, and on average, the images that I uploaded to white wall were around 100 to 125 meg each. So I'm able to do my edits in Lightroom, save that as a TIFF, and upload it as a TIFF, and have the TIFF printed as opposed to a 15 to 17 meg JPEG. So what we'll do now is we'll go downstairs and we'll take a look at how I'm going to do the printing. Now that you know I'm going to do it, next step on this is how I'm going to do it, and then the final step is I'll show you that I'm actually doing that. All right, so let's cut and go downstairs. Hey guys, so here we are. The next phase in the project is to talk about what we're going to mount to, what the surface is going to be, right? Because framing is expensive. So I went for something really thin, basically plywood. This is probably less than an 1/8 inch, but as you can see, it's very light. What I like about it, it's got a smooth side and a slightly rough side. One sheet of this was $14.50. So what we'll do next is we'll step out into the garage. Oh, one last thing, and you'll see this out there. This was also recommended in the YouTube tutorial, just a standard general performance spray adhesive. Loctite spray adhesive, really cheap. It comes out in a mist. I got the light version. You don't need anything heavy. We're only talking about photographs here. I've never done a project like this. I'm kind of excited to get this going. So let's take these boards out to the garage. I'll go through an entire one to show you how it's done. And hopefully we'll be good to go. All right, let's go outside. So we're going to spray our adhesive first. Then we're going to put the image on. Then we're going to pat it down. Then we're going to roll it. You ready? Let's give it a shot. Making sure you get around the edges, get into the board. Doesn't take a lot. Just like that. Got it. Now we find the dock captain. So what I like to do is just come up and find that edge real close, just to get him where I want. Perfect. A little bit is over the edge, so you're going to have to trim that. The board is slightly bigger. I can file that down. Once I do my hand dab, still with the plastic on top, mind you, go back this way. I can get my edges like this. Next up, we're going to do a quick roll like this. Just a little bit, make sure we're good there. Still have a little more wood than I'd like. Let's pick it up. See what we have. Dock captain is loaded. Is that edge good? I think it is. Let's do one more. So there you have it, guys. That's the entire process. That is how I decided what I was going to print. culled those images down, sent those out to Whitewall, got the delivery, went to Lowe's, got my boards cut, labeled them, and then had my photographs meticulously placed on those boards to the point where now it's time to actually hang them. So I'm going to close the video out showing you what the images look like on the new gray wall that Dee painted for me. Thank you, Dee. And again, remember, if you print for yourself, I just think it goes a long way to helping you better appreciate what you do. I know it did for me. I shoot so much and so often, and it's very easy to get caught up into the keeping it online, shoot for Instagram, sending out some images on links to clients. That's all good. But if you take the time to look at some of your best work and you print it, I do think that you're going to appreciate it more. So if you're printing, let me know. If you're not, why not? Are you okay with viewing just on a smartphone for Instagram? Nothing against Instagram, but in terms of really appreciating your photography, go out there, print something, display it, even if it's just for you, step back and enjoy it. Again, thanks for being here, guys. Let's do Rusty Brown Photography. We'll catch you next time.